Welcome to Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abraham. You know my partner Albert Campman. Albert, we're getting into the meat of the playoffs. If you're still playing, you've had a great year, but if you told all these coaches they want to win one more.
Yep, going to the semifinals. Springfield's one of them. Scored late, held on to our 29-28 win in the regional six finals. Scored with 35 seconds left, George. How about the crowd had to be on the edge of their seats?
Yeah.
And but they had to go for two too, and they got it. How many times we see them miss those 2-pointers, George?
I know if I have them, they miss it. Here's what I know about 2-point plays. If I need it, it looks like they just plowed into the line to get it over with. If I don't need it, they'll do a double reverse pass, and the guy's standing there. I'm like, why did my team do that?
Yeah, one of the things that I say constantly, that from August until now, you should have practiced 3 plays that opponents have never seen, that they don't have to be fancy, but they have something to it that they've never. Don't run something they've seen all year, especially when you're running a zone block play right into the line, because and then you get 1 yard.
There's 9 guys in there.
Yes, please.
Someone should tell James Franklin.
Oh, I know that. So they did. It was an example.
Now, last week, they're pounding this team, pounding Washington. The tight end had the ball all night. Wildcat, all this.
They must have read enough, huh?
Yeah, they must have listened to the show.
All the people talked about.
Yeah.
Carson Cunningham cinched that win with an interception. Congratulations to Springfield as they move on to play the winner of Mahoning Valley and Dalton. Poland also advanced with an easier win, 34-14 over Martins Ferry. They're 10-2, jumped to a first quarter lead, never looked back. Good luck to Poland as they move forward. Ursuline, which we knew was a powerhouse, led by D.C. Farrell, who had 5 touchdowns, beat another Catholic school, Villa Angela St. Joseph, who's always been good, 44-8. That tells you how good Ursuline is. So those 3, and then a team that we followed all year, undefeated, South Range, beat Girard for the second time. Girard was trying to come back and beat him, but they couldn't. South Range, led by Tristan Toys, who scored 4 touchdowns, will now move on to winner of the Garfield-Garaway game. And lastly, Fitch, who's really talented, ran for over 300 yards and beat Warren Harding 42-21. It was funny, George. Warren Harding had just beaten him.
Yeah, weeks ago.
Yeah, so you know what happens, don't you? If the coaches said, listen, we didn't play very well. Warren Harding is saying they're better than you. Let's see what we can do. And the other camp, coaches were saying, we already beat them. We can beat them again. No, that isn't how it works. You have to practice hard, get ready.
I don't like having won the first game, especially close.
Good point, George.
Now, if I beat them 51, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But if it was close, I know I got my hands full.
And that's exactly what happened. We also have some volleyball news. We did it with second and third team, all states, and they deserve honors too, but we don't have time to read them all. So we're just reading the first teamers. Division 4, first team, Mallory Maylock from Lakeview. Congratulations to Mallory. Division 5, first team, Emmy Emch from Crestview, and Elena R. from Crestview. 2 Crestview players from Division 5. Congratulations to those awesome girls. We talked about this on the show many times. George loves watching volleyball.
Yeah, I do.
I love high school volleyball.
No.
And
the colleges are ridiculous.
Oh, yes.
Like I watch those girls at Pitt and Nebraska and places and UCLA, Texas. I mean, don't catch one of those spikes like in the forehead. You're going down.
Yeah, you're going to the hospital.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, but one of the things we'll say, and I know these girls are really, really good, outstanding good, not just good, but Division 1 is that good.
Oh.
And so if you're gonna plan on a career in volleyball, you better up your ante. You better get stronger, better jump higher, and be the ultimate, because these athletes in Division 1 are unbelievable.
Pitt is number 1 in the country. You ready for this? They don't have a PA girl on their roster.
How about that?
I think that
shows about Division 1 right there.
That says plenty.
Yeah, that tells you that the world is pretty big for all sports, not just basketball, football in this area, but volleyball's growing, soccer's growing, everything's growing in Ohio. One of the things not growing is YSU, and this was a terrible loss. we give them credit a lot, but not Coach Phillips. We can't give any due for this one. Not when you have a 28-0 lead over a bad team. If it's 28 over a good team, I can understand them coming back. But this is a bad team and ended up losing the game 37-33. Southern Illinois, which so-so team, that means that they go to 3-8 on the year. Going to play Northern Iowa. We know that they lost a lot of kids to the portal, so we'll give you that. So I understand losing to North Dakota State, North Dakota, South Dakota State, those teams.
Big boys.
But not Southern Illinois. We can't give you a trip on that one. Now you finish with Northern Iowa, another winnable game. But I'll tell you what, it's going to take a lot of doing getting them up from the losing 28-0 lead, George. Kids don't bounce back that easily.
Now, before we move on, I want to talk about, because you mentioned the portal indirectly. Just on the way over, I was listening. You know who won't go. Dabo won't go. We know some people. Well, in basketball, it appears that Izzo is at least reluctant. And in the last 4 years, he's only won 4 more conference games than he's lost.
Right.
So what this guy was saying, and I was listening interestingly, he said, look, you're not being fair to the school. You either have to go get them or do what Tony Bennett did. So
Yeah, they all should get out.
I can't take it anymore.
And I'd be out in a second.
How about when he said, I don't talk to the kids anymore, I talk to the agents. And we have a good friend who's an
agent.
NFL agent. He's the best guy in the world. But there's let me see if I can use the right adjective. There's like a sleaziness that people think. They're all not all like that. But that's the opinion that people have of them.
And that's why I value Dabo and Izzo so valuable, because they're me.
Yeah,
there's not a chance that a kid walked in and I said, how was practice today? And he said, well, I don't really care about practice,
I
Coach.
need more money.
How much money you got?
I need more money.
So I value them so highly. I don't care. And what can I say? They've won national championships.
Yeah.
I would hope the school would say, listen, you've done so much for me. Give us 2 more
Well,
years.
how do you
to get
feel
out.
about that?
Well, that's what I said.
But
yeah.
no, you have a core value system that not many have. What I'm saying to you is, like, say you were the school president or the school AD, you would be conflicted because they've done a great job in the past, but it doesn't appear that you can win like that anymore.
And that's what I just said.
Or
I
can
told him,
you?
no, you can't.
You can't, can you?
No.
Because you're going to make a mistake.
But I'll go into the president and say, give me 2 more years with these kids who I recruited.
Okay.
And then,
Well, Dabo's not doing badly.
no, but
10-2.
they're not.
Yeah, they can't. No.
They won a national championship or you stink.
Well, that's like the guy at Penn State. 10-2, 11-1 every year, loses to a team that I consider a real threat to win the national title.
They're better.
And these people are like, get rid of them, fire them. I'm thinking, look at those 2 places. One of them's in the state capitol, and one of them is in a field. Now, don't get me wrong, they have a great stadium and such, but don't compare those. What was it, 63 4s and 5s to 30?
Yeah.
17 5-star to 15 in the whole rest of the league? Who's winning that game?
Yeah, George had a hard time trying to understand why they get after Day, because his record is.
Oh, 97.
So if you go by his record,
Yeah, he's there forever.
yeah. But I'm telling you, they have to be after him
No, they're not.
because they have somewhere in the next 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
You have to win. You have to win one.
And you know what?
Because-
You brought me around.
Yeah,
Because
no, you have changed a little bit.
The guy called our radio show. I said, what do you want him to do? He's 57-7. Then I start reading 20 million NIL.
Yeah. They have everything.
15 5-stars, 60 plus
Yeah.
4s and 5.
Yeah.
There are no excuses.
No, and you can't win it every year because that's the joke.
No.
Because there's other great teams out there. But somewhere in 5-year period, you should be playing for it. And
Yeah,
come
we're going to
close,
talk
yes.
about that because I was looking the other day. I think I have my 4 Big Ten teams, but I certainly don't have my 4 SEC teams.
Oh, that's true.
Oh my!
Same
Remember,
way.
we thought. Well, now it'll be good now because no one will get left out. Oh my gosh, were we
Well,
wrong?
it looks like right now, if things go like they're supposed to go,
Georgia's up.
oh, there's going to be a 7-way tie for the title.
That's what I. Okay, I get what you mean.
So
like, yeah,
all
how-
8 and 2.
Yeah, how you
so
gonna play it off?
who's going to be the team?
Texas is one. They have the one loss, right?
But they could lose another game to one of these good
good
teams.
point. No,
yeah.
last game to A&M.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That could be one of those.
But that'd be really funny that everybody has 2 losses in the SEC.
Yeah, well, it'll be some kind of absurd, bizarre tiebreaker
Yeah.
that nobody
That
wants
we don't
to
want to
see.
figure it out, right?
No, but I know one thing. The Big Ten is kind of shaking itself out. You're going to have Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, and Indiana.
Yeah.
Does that look that way to you?
For sure. Indiana will be the one. That's because I'm thinking Ohio State's going to be.
Okay, let me ask you. With one loss, are you kicking them out?
I don't know. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
that's going to be interesting.
Because their schedule's so weak.
You know, I looked at it the other day.
So
we'll,
weak.
we'll talk in detail, but just off the top of our head, we got 4 of them, 4 SEC, 1 ACC, 1 Big 12. That's 10. Notre Dame and Boise.
That's the way it is.
Is it? Is that it?
That's the way it is. But I would say Indiana's the one that might not be in
How
there.
about having 8 of the 12, those 2 leagues?
I said at the beginning of the year it was going to be like that.
And they said if you don't, we'll leave.
What I said it's going to be like that. There's no way, because I look who's around and who's playing. You know, only one that could maybe say something is BYU.
Yeah.
Because they haven't lost yet, have they?
No. Well,
That's what I'm saying.
You know, and I look at them and think they're as ordinary as
They are ordinary. That's why nobody looks at them.
No, they didn't win that league yet. Whoever they play, whoever's second, Iowa State ruined that the other night. Might be playing Dion. He has 2 easy games.
Well, that's the team. No, that's to say. I said the team that is really playing great.
Yeah.
You know, the team is not under the radar.
Yeah.
George just brought it up. I know he's going to go into.
Yeah.
It's Colorado to me.
Yeah. You know what they're doing? Playing decent
Defensively
defense
and run the ball.
Runner.
Yeah, they do both
Bingo.
things. They do both things.
That's
well.
exactly. And
Yeah.
you know he can throw it all over the field.
He'll be gone after this year too, by the
Yeah,
way.
he's going to Dallas.
I'll be shocked if he's not.
He'll be Dallas's quarterback.
Because I look at who he's losing.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
his 2 sons and
Yeah. Well, guess
Hunter,
what?
and Hunter.
He'll be in the van.
I would think he'll be with
Florida
them.
State. How about that beatdown Notre Dame gave them?
They have to fire him on that. You
Yeah.
can't lose a game
can't-
like that.
You can't lose
like
50
that.
some to 3.
No.
Unless you're at
And he 13-0 last year.
13
Yeah.
Crying about the 20. All right, let's talk about Saturday. Bama went a long way. They went in. Now remember Brian Kelly. This is the guy that said he couldn't win at Notre Dame because they wouldn't let him recruit quote unquote special guys. Well, guess what? He's out of the 20 and Notre Dame's still in right now.
Yeah. And the Notre Dame guy's done a great job recruiting. And
Yeah,
the game of the name is recruiting, landing players. Freeman went on, got speed. And when you get speed, you have a chance. And they always get linemen. And
Yes.
but Bama proves they're dangerous with that quarterback. I mean, you know, he's a different kid.
You know, Alex
he's a different
said
cat.
that the other day. I said to somebody, I said, could he be a running back in the pro?
I would make him a running back.
Oh, you know, it's the first thing I thought of. 4 tutties.
I'd make him a
Man,
running
he
back.
weighed 230
How he
pounds.
runs away from them.
Yep. I thought, see, we see the same thing.
Uh-huh.
We didn't even talk about it. But that was a whooping that LSU got, and I'll tell you what, that'll bring the fans out loud and clear. They don't like a Northerner anyway. Don't let them kids.
They don't like Northerners.
No, they do not. His
No.
name, you need 2 first names to coach there, like
I
Jim
wonder
Bob or
how much
something.
money it's going to how much it costs to buy him out. I mean, I don't think they'll go this year, but another year, I think he will be gone
Yeah,
next year.
he'll be.
I think he will be.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I
Uh-huh.
think you got it right on. Oregon, they just keep on winning.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going. I think they're a safe bet to be in
Safe,
that.
safe for sure.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
And you know what that guy's done? I'm not a fan, but you have to give him credit. They're rougher than back in the day with Chip Kelly. They're harder on
Mm-hmm. Right.
defense to run on. Used to be teams would beat them up.
Right.
They're not doing that
Mm-hmm.
this year. That's for sure. But they will play a good team for the Big Ten title.
Yeah, and that's we'll find out if they can. If they play Ohio State, I'll have Ohio State. That's
You
for
know
sure.
I will for sure.
Yes,
On a
uh-huh,
neutral, that wouldn't even be a problem. No, and that's like I said, SEC 4, Big Ten 4.
Right, no
That's
doubt.
8. You got the other 2 leagues, ACC, Big 12, 10. Boise. Hey, don't sell Boise too short. They lost at Oregon by a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Then that last team's Notre Dame. You know they're going to get.
Notre Dame's the one is my dark horse. I mean,
And see,
they're
they
really
can't
good.
for our casual fans. They can't host because they're not a league champ.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they can't get the 5-4. They could host.
Well, they can't host though.
Yeah, but
Okay.
they can't get a. And by the way, you have the option of playing that game somewhere other than your stadium, but it brings in millions. They're not going to do that. It's all about the Benjamins, as
That's
we
never
know.
changing. Yep.
That's as simple as that. If Indiana gets pounded by Ohio State, does that count for more than one loss?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I told you.
Oh, you still okay?
That's the one team I don't think
Okay.
can afford to lose like that.
Okay. So they can't catch one of those Notre Dame at Florida State jobs. 55-3. If they
If
catch
they get it, it's going to catch everybody's eye in a hurry, I tell you that.
Okay, let me ask you this. The game is Saturday. Can they win that game?
Can Indiana win that game?
Yeah.
No.
Not at the Horseshoe.
No.
I heard the quarterback there. I realized I knew I had seen him somewhere. Ohio U. He's a Canadian kid. He came out ranked 97th.
I watched him play a million times. He's a good player.
Yeah, well, he has
Yes.
to be. You don't win like
Yeah.
that. No. You get here now and somebody says, are they any good? Yes. Now, can he beat Ohio State? That's a different kind of good. Ohio State's the cream of the crop, as we know. It's as simple as that. BYU, boy, the Utes fans crying a phantom hold call late. They ended up losing by 1 point. And
How about it was 4th and 10 from the 1 yard line,
yeah,
and they called a holding penalty?
yeah. That's
It's
my
hard
old,
for me to take.
and that's my old shouldn't be a first down. Remember I told you?
Yes,
You want to call a penalty? 5 yards? Fabulous. 4th and 5. Do not do what they did. I agree 1,000%. And of all the teams, I've seen them 3 times with my naked eye. They could lose that Big 12 title game easily. I thought it would be Iowa State, but something happened the last 2 weeks. They caught Kansas Saturday at the Chiefs Stadium. Kansas' stadium is being renovated, and it sure didn't help any, that's for sure.
Yeah, they lost that game the week before. How do you say it, George?
Lose the same game twice.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, that's what happens.
You know who's in position there? SMU. They might have known something not taking that TV
Well, that's a
money
team I
from
really
the
like.
ACC.
I really like
We
them.
liked them early, and they were, remember the
Struggled
first
early
game?
out.
New Mexico State almost
Struggled
scored.
struggled out of the gate badly.
What did they wax?
They've been coming on
Did
strong
they wax
since.
Pitt after that?
Yeah.
That's for sure. Whoever it is, the ACC, it's them. If they play Louisville, if they play Clemson,
What happened to Miami? They got beat, huh?
Miami. I mean, they can.
Well, they still
play.
win. That's what I'm
Oh
asking.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
one loss.
Can't throw them out. That's what I was
But
saying.
I'll tell
Yes.
you, we've discussed Miami many times, you and I, on the radio and here. They have offense, no D.
They could
No
have
D.
They could have 4 losses too. They lost 1,000,000 games close.
Yeah, that Georgia Tech basically old schooled them.
Yeah, that's the way Georgia Tech plays.
Yeah.
That's why they lose some games too. It's an old
You could
it's
say-
an old theory that
You can stay close to them from
yeah,
behind
yeah,
as far. They're not that far ahead. You have to decide. Now the NFL. You know, I've seen some games. You know, I heard the stat today. If I gave you the stat, it would make you sick to your stomach.
What's the stat?
The field goal with 5 seconds or under from that close.
Has to be 95%.
Never. The only 7 that were blocked were all 50 or more, and they had
Gotcha.
to kick them hard and low to get them there. This was an extra point in the pros.
Yeah, they did such a terrible job of blocking.
How
on
many
that
guys
play.
were in there?
I said the blocking on it. I mean, that offensive line should be. Oh
What do you
my
suppose?
gosh.
Is it possible? Remember, they didn't think they would come that hard.
No, not if they were coming like maniacs.
They didn't touch them.
I said they all came through.
It wasn't like one guy blocked
no, it was really bad. Bad
I
blocking.
was listening to the Denver call on the radio.
He had to cry, didn't he?
He says, I'm speechless. He just like
He had to be
lost his
speechless.
dog. He's like, I can't say anything.
I know.
He said, it was Dave
Never had a
Logan.
chance.
Remember Dave
Oh
Logan
yeah,
played for the Browns?
Never had a chance.
Never had a chance. Now, the Steelers went into Washington, and despite having their fans there and the terrible towels and all that, which is the way they travel, that's a huge win.
Yeah, it's a big win for a team that against a team that's really good. Washington's good, and they're no fluke. They have
I
a
think
good.
they play Philly this week. We're
They
going to
have,
know in a
they,
hurry.
have, they have a good team.
Oh, they do have a good team. I'll tell you, you were right on that quarterback for a rookie. I mean, there's good, and then there's ridiculous.
Yeah, he doesn't play. There's not a rookie blood in him at all.
No. And the kid from the
He
Bears
can't run
is
and
taking
pass.
on water fast.
Oh, he stinks.
We
We saw that. We done it. There wasn't a thought in our mind who was better.
We didn't like
Not a
him.
thought.
Now,
No.
last Thursday, big rivalry game. Both games have
What a
been
game
the
that
same.
was.
Cincinnati and Baltimore. Somehow, when that game ends, Baltimore has more points.
They found a way, didn't they?
And, you know, we could tell our fans, the people that think Baltimore's going to go up and down Sunday at Pittsburgh haven't been paying attention.
In the past, they haven't.
No,
That's for
no.
sure.
If they're going up and down on that defense, and I'll step right up and I'll say, I know nothing.
Right.
Because those boys, that's going to be 24-20, 2017.
Usually every game's close.
Yes.
Usually every game's really close.
But like you said, they're a little bit different. Oh, how about they asked Tomlin, they said, something about comparing the Washington quarterback to Jackson. He said, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute. He said, wait a minute. Only he can say it. He said, he said, that's Mr. Jackson.
That's right.
This 3-time MVP. He said, that's
Yes.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes, he's tremendous.
Yeah, and we've loved him from day one.
Yeah, that was your guy.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I didn't
But once
know-
again, I'm not as high on him as everybody else is.
And I didn't he didn't win a playoff
Yeah,
game.
no, but he doesn't do anything in the playoff. I'm talking about if he lost 57, 54,
Yeah, you'd
I'd say it ain't his fault.
He's got to do it.
No,
He
yeah.
has to do it. Now, the Sunday night game, if you watched half and turned it off or watched the other half, you would have thought someone spliced the tape because they were getting manhandled. Detroit at halftime, come out, intercepted the first pass. Now, remember, they overcame 5 interceptions.
Yeah, they did. That don't happen too often.
I think it's 7 times in the history of the game.
But the biggest interception in the game that stopped the whole game was Dell standing by himself in the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
And Stroud did not see the other defensive back, so he lobbed it.
Yeah.
Instead of throwing a direct pass, would have been a touchdown easily. And that changed the whole game around. You can't do that. You can't throw that touchdown.
You don't lob in that league, do you?
No lobs.
No
They can
lob.
cover the whole field.
I saw one the other day. Same way with the Army. The guy baited the guy from North Texas. He took a step toward the guy. He was covering, and the guy let it loose.
Right.
He took 2 back steps.
Yeah, throw the
jumped
ball like
up.
you always throw it, yes.
Yeah, throw it like you mean it. No, you're exactly right. New Orleans finally got off. I think it was 7 weeks in a row they had
That's why you
lost.
can never count
now,
Atlanta.
An interim coach, do you think this guy has a chance?
No,
No,
not at all.
He's just special teams.
I watched
finished.
I watched a lot of the game. They didn't play good. It was Atlanta played
No,
pathetically.
they missed 3 field goals.
They didn't play good.
You know, they missed 3 field goals.
Woo or ooh, whatever you say his name.
Yeah,
I know.
He missed 3 field goals.
Yes.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
But Dallas, now, it's one thing to lose.
He's getting fired.
You can lose at Dallas. You know what the best part of that whole game was for me? They showed the box, and Jerry had got mad and left. There was an empty seat between his son and the
Yeah,
other.
that's what I'm saying. He's getting
And I
fired.
looked, I said, this man.
Yeah, that's a short firing right there.
The big boy's going,
He's gone,
isn't
yeah,
he?
he's
The
gone.
big boy's going.
Yeah. I don't think they play hard. I don't think that's why I said that.
I told you
You have to fire somebody who don't play
There's a
hard.
show on the CW with Ryan Clark and Belichick, and it's Ojo Cinco, who's goofy, but he also was a good player.
A real good player.
And I think it might be Howie Long's son. I'm not sure of the 4th guy.
Okay.
They're taking the Dallas game apart with from before, where King Henry's just pushing them on the ground. And they're not even feeling. I mean it. And they were saying
They were saying the same thing, huh?
you can't play like this. This isn't the NFL. This is not, the biddy league where participation is voluntary.
Right. That's what it looks like. That's all you could say. You look at it and think that.
And here is Arizona. Am I missing something? Or are they pretty good?
They're pretty good. There's no question.
Playing better defense.
Better defensively.
We love the quarterback.
Yeah. And I always thought
And
Murray was really good.
I think Connor's
Underrated.
way underrated.
He is underrated.
Gosh, he runs hard.
he
And
run-
he's a big man.
He doesn't stop running for 4 quarters.
No.
Yeah.
He's a big, big man.
But nobody's more overrated than the Jets.
No.
Do you understand the Jets were favored?
No,
they were
enjoy it.
favored.
I couldn't believe it.
No, I'm saying to
I
you.
couldn't believe it.
And a lot of people like the Jets, and I'm saying, wait a minute.
well.
I'm saying, what do you? They're not. See, they always talk about their defense. Their defense isn't any good.
No.
They talk, and Rodgers is so pathetic. If his name wasn't Rodgers,
No, if it was Bill Brown, he'd
they'd
be
say,
out.
what is this quarterback playing
Get
for?
him out of there.
Throws the ball right into the ground, and he can't move. Remember,
Can't
before,
move. Yeah.
he used to be able to move.
he'd throw.
Yes.
Yeah, no. And let me say this. This Arizona's a load.
They're pretty darn good, yeah.
Yeah, I was on that one. I had the right side there. I thought that they screwed that up. The Bears, they're taking on water. And one thing about the Pats.
Coach is gone, but it's not his fault.
No, and the Pats, I'll say one thing about the Pats. They play decent defense.
They always have played this
Yeah,
defense.
even when they were lousy. Remember last year they come in and beat Pittsburgh?
And they're still lousy, but they're still playing okay defensively,
Their
yeah.
offense is just. How many coaches? 7, 8. I'm seeing. We could.
I just named 2, for sure.
Oh no, they're both going.
Yes.
No,
New Orleans is 3 for sure. There's 3 short places for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to figure a guy. Jacksonville's going. They lose every week. How about they gave Trevor Lawrence a boatload of money?
I know. I thought he was good too, though.
Listen,
I got to admit,
listen
I
to
thought he
this.
was good.
They're in line for the #1 pick.
I know.
Them and the Giants. Holy.
Yeah, I got to admit on that
moly.
one. I thought Lawrence was good, and he's not played
I
at all.
got Giants, Bears, Jacksonville. I don't like the guy at Cincinnati. It's me. Too many
Yeah, he's not getting
4th
fired.
and 4s.
Yeah.
Dallas and New Orleans.
Yep. That was the one-
Okay,
that's
NCAA hoops. Now, here's the thing. No sport is like it in that they deliberately schedule heavy because a loss means nothing. Like in football, they're still a little leery. We don't want that third one. Basketball, 7, 8 losses. You're in the tournament easy.
Yeah, that has changed. Their schedules are really
They
good
challenge
now.
them. Like I think tomorrow night there's a tournament with Michigan State, Kansas, Kentucky, and Duke.
And the other thing, they cross a lot of times cross leagues. I mean, they'll,
Yeah,
like the ACC will play the SEC.
I heard something
like
interesting the other day. It's turning into all business though. They were talking to
that doesn't surprise
they were
me.
talking to Bill Self, and they said, and Krzyzewski said, we used to go to Maui. He said it would cost almost $1 million. So you took the boosters, and he said it's to the point now where we'll meet you in Vegas because the money's much greater. He said every game that we take out of Cameron costs us $1 million.
Yeah, it's,
So that tells you all you need
they're
to
looking
know.
at money for sure. They're looking close at money because they
It's
need the money to pay their players. That's why.
It's all about money. Now, I need you to tell the audience about Tony Bennett's thoughts on recruiting as far as if you lost.
Yeah, his line was so awesome to, especially anybody who recruits. And he says, can I lose with that player? And adversity hits every team. So whenever winning,
Oh, they love them.
oh
They
yeah,
love
the hands
I
are
love
up.
my guys. I
like
love
this.
them.
This is the greatest.
I
That's the way
love them
that's the way the
all.
players
I
are
love
going.
them all.
And then all of a sudden they start losing, and the kids comes in the locker room and says, "Hey, coach, I don't feel like playing today." And he says, "What do you mean? Man, we're losing." He wouldn't recruit a kid like that. He studies that the hardest he can when recruiting.
Remember Coach Slocum telling us,
can I lose with
how's
that
this
player?
kid treat his mom? He said, if he treats his mom that bad, we can't recruit him.
Can I lose with that player?
Yeah.
Really one of the greatest lines I've seen. He didn't say, can I win with that player?
Let me ask you.
Can I lose with that player?
Have you heard more hype than Cooper Flagg?
Yeah, that's my grandson.
They knew back in the day. They told you about it.
My grandson told me 4 years ago, hey, Cooper Flagg's going to man. I saw him take off on the dotted line and cram it.
Okay, so maybe it's deserve it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? We don't do a lot of hoops before Christmas, but I will definitely look at him. The thing about it is, you have to talk Cavs. We have to mention the Cavs NBA. You jump out. I mean, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 11. Now, come on. What they have at halftime, your grandkids
they were there.
went out. Tell them what
A
the score-
35-point game at halftime. Man, geez, oh, man.
That doesn't happen. The Golden State now. I'm not talking about the Magic.
No, they were 7-1 at the time.
Yes.
And Cavs were 8-0. They really raved about Garland, and he's their fourth best player. Think about that. When you're raving about their fourth best player. The Cavs are just rolling into maturity right now. They have a lot of guys that weren't ready for the big time.
They said they changed their bodies a little bit, a few of them. Is it possible?
That's interesting if they did that.
That's what I heard. I heard
Yeah.
a guy talking the other day. He said a couple of them changed their bodies. Well, now you know they're serious.
Uh-huh.
You didn't have weight room.
Yeah.
Jordan was way ahead of his time with that, too. Doc Rivers can make anybody tired. I'm hearing that Giannis wants out.
He does want out.
Nice guy in the world.
Yeah, it's not because he wants to leave Milwaukee. He's tired of what Rivers is doing there.
Yeah, he's just bad.
Rivers, if you didn't know any better, once again, put another coach there.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Doc Rivers, you'd say, how rotten is this guy?
Why are they retiring?
Yes, I know.
Hey, Embiid, now I think the guy went too far. Family's off limits, but he can't push him. He's 7 foot.
He brings
2,
it on himself all the time.
Yeah, he's 7 feet 2.
He brings it on
280
himself.
pounds. He can't shove
No,
you.
hasn't played yet. No.
Yeah. No, he's playing next week now.
Good.
He only makes $62 million. What do you want?
I know, and that's
5
something.
years, 310. Hey, a couple and miscellaneous as we go. James Franklin cannot interact with the fans after the game.
Nobody should.
Either win the game or get up in the stand or get in the locker room.
Nobody should.
You say the same thing. How about Kennesaw? They have this guy. He started the program. He got them going. They were nice in FCS. All of a sudden, they get to FBS and they're firing them.
I know.
What is that about?
One of the worst firings I could
Give him
hear.
a chance.
Yes.
Hey, thanks again for watching Bottom Line Sports Talk. See you next week.